Welcome to Most Loved Wrestling, the place where wrestling is most loved. This episode of SmackDown was fire, and this episode of SmackDown was eventful. No long thing today. Let's talk about the results and them MVPs. But before we do so, can we get a like on this video, subscribe to my bullshit, and hit the notification bell. It helps with the algorithm. So if you like what I'm doing and believe that the world deserves to bear witness, then this is how you can make it happen. As per usual, we're going to start with the matches. Bayley defeats Candice LeRae and B-Fab to advance in the United States Championship Tournament. LA Knight gives Berto 3 the hard way, courtesy of a little BFT. The Motor City Machine Guns retain their tag team titles due to a disqualification because of Tommaso Ciampa. And Nia Jax, with the help from every woman to ever exist, manages to annihilate Naomi to retain the WWE Women's Championship. Other developments: Cody wants a piece of KO. He has no suit on, so you know what timing he's on. He calls him out to the ring, only he gets Nick Aldis instead. Aldis tells Cody that KO is not allowed on SmackDown until this issue is resolved. Cody understands that Nick has a job to do and he has to be objective. But underneath your suit, you're a wrestler, and I also know you're a good man too. Imagine riding in the ambulance and speaking to Randy's family and telling them that you don't know if he's okay or if he's even going to be okay. And when they ask why, you have to tell them that the man that did it is going around telling everybody that it's because of me. What do you have to do? Buy a ticket, go to his house, because I know that you don't want the champion of this company to conduct himself like that. So deal with this before I do. The ball's in your court, and I'm not going to wait too long. So of course, KO is invited to SmackDown next week, courtesy of Nick Aldis. KO says, I'm not turning up for the WWE. I'm not turning up for the fans. I'm not turning up for Cody. I'm turning up for myself. I shouldn't even turn up, because the only reason Nick Aldis wants me there now is because their golden boy Cody Rhodes wants it. But you know what? I am going to come. And last week, I was punished for doing my job. So next week, when I come to SmackDown, I'm going to do what everybody wants me to do. And you need to understand that I am only doing my job. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are starting to antagonize B-Fab over a loss in the United States Championship Tournament. Michin steps in with her kendo stick, and Piper and Chelsea step out. The Bloodline are still looking for a 5th member for War Games. LA Knight is asked by Sami Zayn to join up with the OG Bloodline in War Games, but rightfully so, he declines because it ain't his fight. And if you know their history, he hopes that the Bloodline destroys each other. He throws shade at Logan Paul's US title reign and proceeds with his open challenge, which is answered by Legado del Fantasma. Knight tells Santos Escobar exactly what we're all thinking. Been there, done that. But I don't like how this guy is looking at me in reference to Berto. Giannis dropped 59 points last night, and I ain't gonna drop 59 points, but I will drop 3 on you the hard way. Berto takes a cheap shot at LA Knight, leading into LA Knight versus Berto for the United States Championship. And this match was a banger. Sheamus is on a pub somewhere smiling. As mentioned prior, LA Knight retains, but his night is not over. Shinsuke Nakamura is back, and he takes out LA Knight. This man looks like he hasn't had a night's sleep for about 2 months, but he's wearing all black and looks sinister. So I'm wondering what this new character development is going to look like. The OG Bloodline are struggling to find their 5th man for War Games. The OG Bloodline are trying to talk strategy and think about how to get a 5th man in their group. Jay asked Roman did they make the call, but before he could get an answer, the new Bloodline make their way to the ring, and Roman Reigns takes that as their cue to start making their way to the ring. Now this ends up in a massive brawl, one of the best brawls I've seen in a long time, by the way. And as we're about to get Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns, we get robbed of that collision by Big Bronson Reed jumping Roman Reigns from behind. And this is the part where the OG Bloodline just be getting smashed on. They're getting moonsaults, they're getting tsunamis, and they're eating Samoan spikes. So it's official, the 5th member of the new Bloodline for War Games is going to be none other than Bronson Reed. You got Jey Uso, you got Roman Reigns in the ring after they just got their asses handed to them. Jey Uso's telling Roman, make the call, Luce. What call who? You find out right at the end of the show. Roman's in his locker room, he's making a phone call, and he's looking relieved, saying the words, call the wise man, only the phone to be disconnected, as if maybe the wise man has changed his number. The number that Roman Reigns has for Paul Heyman is saying it's unrecognized, and you just see Roman Reigns, his whole body, his whole demeanor just changes. He looks deflated, he looks defeated and deflated. But what's going on? Why is Paul Heyman's phone not going through? As mentioned at the top, Tommaso Ciampa, he cost the Street Profits the tag team championships, and they actually looked like they was about to win. They looked like they was about to end the 3-year drought. So Ciampa is now beating the fuck out of the Street Profits for the Dawkins. When the Machine Guns jump in, understandably confused and pissed, because like, what are you doing, bro? Johnny Wrestling flies down, he gets in between them before it all pops off. You know, that's his tag team partner. Tries to reason with Ciampa, but Tommaso shoves him to the mat and storms off shouting belligerently. Now you got the Machine Guns trying to reason with the Profits. But Dawkins was so pissed, he popped Alex Shelley in the mouth knocking him on his ass. Next week, we got another first round US Championship triple threat. Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green versus Blair Davenport. Speaking of Bianca, her and Jade, they got jumped by Liv and Raquel whilst they was watching Naomi challenge Nia Jax. So it seems very clear that the lines have been drawn for the women's war game. Liv and Raquel with Nia, Tiffy and Candice versus the big three, Io Sky and Bayley. But the last part is just my thoughts, which brings me to my thoughts on the show. I'm glad to see them selling the power driver, a move that has been banned in the WWE for the longest. I love when they don't play the fans off as fools. We know that move has been banned, and they know we know. And they picked two of the most trusted superstars on the roster to exploit that knowledge. Look, take away the kayfabe. Think about when Nick Aldis said, "We don't want this generation to end up in wheelchairs." How close was Stone Cold Steve Austin from being in a wheelchair because of the power driver? On another note, Black Air Force prize fighter KO is about to solidify himself as one of my favourite wrestlers on the roster today. If he keeps this up, that's what's going to happen. The whole rivalry has been done in a way that makes it seem like it's taboo, something we shouldn't be knowing about. Things that are happening behind the scenes are leaking out to the public, to the fans, so we know about it. It really seems like the company doesn't want to air certain things out publicly, but we've just managed to get a hold of the information through Kevin Owens just being a loose cannon. This writing to me is genius, and when Randy eventually snakes Cody, all of this is going to make it so much sweeter. Could imagine him. "I'm proud of you, Code, man." And Cody talking about how much the celebration at WrestleMania 40 meant to him because of how much Randy Orton means to him, and that moment meaning everything to him despite the use of the name Codeman, which he doesn't like. I'm telling you, it's just the little things that count in a relationship. It's going to be good. And let's talk about B-Fab. B-Fab being in the lab to be looking that fab. Alright, my bad, do not unsubscribe, I'm out of control for that, but she did look fantastic. That was a great performance considering where she was when she was on NXT. Like, let's be honest, she was trash, but she was out there boxing tonight. Gotta respect the growth. Her bag was deep too, and to believe they even protected her in pinfall from Bayley. Go on, B-Fab, I'm proud of you. That women's title match was just fantabulous. Everybody and their grandmother had a cameo in that match, but it made it all the better. I don't want to hear nothing crazy about Nia ever again. The fuck was this? And I hope we are keeping a record of what a performance Naomi had. Maybe we can let her light up the United States Championship scene. Bronson Reed, he's another man that's really trying his level best to become one of my favourite wrestlers as well. You better watch out because it could happen. But seriously, stop making this man lose. I'm serious. Him joining up with the new Bloodline is something I didn't even know I wanted for him. I was fuming that it weren't just a 4-on-4, but they have found a way to make it work, as they usually do. Of course, 4-on-4 would still have been where it is at. But hey man, Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu on the same team is some crazy work. Them two alone's like 5 man already. But fucking hell, I'm glad for Bronson Reed. I'm glad that he's getting put into this spot. It's just time to now show them what you're really on and make sure that you stay in the main event picture. But hold on, let's talk about Roman Reigns calling the wise man and it does not go through. Roman Reigns' face when this happens, it speaks for all of us. But is that really who Jey Uso was saying to call? Or is it Roman Reigns trying one last thing before doing it Jey's way? And if so, what's calling the wise man going to do? Because we know that Paul Heyman is not going to be the 5th man. Obviously, I'm thinking because Bronson Reed is on one side, Seth Rollins should be on this side. But let's have some fun for a second. What if calling Paul Heyman means that we're going to get the help of CM Punk, or possibly even arch rival help from Brock Lesnar, both the pinnacle of Paul Heyman guys alongside the tribal chief, or maybe someone even better than all of those guys right back. But this was a brilliant SmackDown though. SmackDown has been a killer for a hot minute now, whilst Raw's been kind of meaty, but we move. And now that brings us to the MVPs. In 5th place, I'm going with Naomi. Stellar performance by Naomi. Nothing else for me to say. You reminded them if they were stupid enough to have forgotten in the first place, and wish you luck in the Women's United States title tournament. At number 4, I got Nia Jax. The same reasons as Naomi. I was entertained from bell to bell. Definitely a worthy main event. And Jax has gotten so good now that she's in better shape. Even her mic skills have started to improve of recent. Good shit. In 3rd place, the new Bloodline. They packed the OG Bloodline up so thoroughly, and they brought in the beast Bronson Reed. They kept this segment simple, no bag along talking. They saw the ops, it was on site and with it. That's all it needed to be in the introduction of Bronson Reed. In 2nd place, OG Bloodline. The same reasons as the new Bloodline, only they got their ass kicked. So you'd ask, so why are they higher on the list? And that's a great question. Let me tell you, all the drama, all the dialogue, all the suspense came from the story of the OGs They were the ones telling the narrative. Sami Zayn getting declined by LA Knight, Jay and Roman dancing around this phone call situation, and Roman delivering the final segment where Paul Heyman's phone isn't going through. As they say, cinema. And once again, that melee was high-key good. And number one, easy pick, Bronson Reed. He was the difference maker tonight. He tsunami'd Roman, and he's come a long way from where he was a couple of months ago. Gone from a man that was barely featured to being the 5th member in War Games of the new Bloodline, gonna stand across the ring from Roman Reigns. Like he just went standing across the ring from Seth Rollins at a PLE as well. He was definitely the headline of the show alongside Paul Heyman. Good shit for Bronson Reed. And hey, did you deep that? All the MVPs are Bloodline related. Naomi, Nia, Bloodline 2.0, Bloodline OGs, and Bronson Reed. And I swear, I ain't do it on purpose. But that's all I got for you today. Thanks for listening to my bullshit. Don't forget to leave a like, remember to subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below.